What's happening, everyone? This week's champion trends feature Vayne, Gragas, Lissandra, Evelynn, Nidalee, and Lucian. I'm Lindsay Geektron with Zam Network, and this is LolKing's League Trends. Let's dive into Summoner's Rift. This week, the champions on the increased pick rates has Maokai up first, with Alistar, Vayne, Vi, and Tristana following up. Before the monster patch of 4.13, Kog'Maw and Tristana were the two reigning bot lane hyper carries. The patch brought with it nerfs and buffs, shaking up the lanes yet again. Vayne was one champ who got some help. Her attack speed per level increased to 4. For those of you keeping score at home, this means that now every time Vayne levels up, she'll have 0.9 more attack speed. The Night Hunter also got a bug fix. Previously, when Vayne would use Final Hour, she gained a 0.1 ratio on her tumble. Riot compensated the fix by increasing the attack damage steroid to her ulti. Even with these changes, Vayne is not a super dominant champ. Post level 6 and after completing a Bork, her kill potential jumps up, and she's able to split push and outduel almost anyone who stands in her way. Look for Vayne to continue to show up on the Rift. Decreases in pick rate this week include Gragas, Lucian, Thresh, Lulu, and Lee Sin. Gragas was considered one of the strongest top laners in patch 4.12, but like flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror, patch 4.13 sobered him up right quick. First, his barrel roll now only does 70% damage to minions. Since his Q was his primary wave clear, the rabble-rouser now has a much harder time keeping pressure on his lane. His sustain was also affected in patch 4.13. Drunken Rage now costs mana, where on patch 4.12 it was free. With this change, Gragas now has a harder time keeping up with the Joneses. Champs like Nidalee and Maokai, who both have sustain, can outplay old Graggy, which means he has a harder time keeping up. He'll not be seeing much play anymore until he gets another buff or another top laner gets nerfed. Increased win rates this week have Urgot up first again. Fiora, Lissandra, Blitzcrank, and Vayne rounded out. The Ice is seeing a slight rise in win rates this week. Let's take a look at why she's gone up. On patch 4.13, Lissandra got a handful of buffs giving her more utility and sustained damage. Ice Shard got 1 second shaved off its cooldown, which might not sound like much, but think about it. A 2.1 second cooldown on her Q makes her sustained damage very high in a team fight. Frozen Tomb's slow was increased from 40% to 75%. What this does is increase Lissandra's effectiveness in team fights. She can reach the backline and ultimate a carry, all the while slowing the entire enemy team down. Which of course sets your team up for victory. In theory. Look for more of the Ice Witch for weeks to come. Decreased win rates this week include Evelynn, Gragas, Braum, Shyvana, and Lulu. The Widowmaker was one of the strongest junglers in previous patches, as she had the fastest clear out of any jungler in the meta. The recent nerf from 4.13 have definitely made a change to her early game impact. The only change was to her Q, Hate Spike. The base damage was nerfed significantly, and the mana cost was increased, which means that her early clear and early damage are affected. However, both of the attack power and attack damage ratios were increased on this ability. While not exactly salt to the wound, this change has little impact, as Evelynn isn't known to build damage items besides Elder Lizard. Ostensibly, Rito made the change to tone down her early game clear and damage. She still has her invisibility to put down global pressure on the map, but she might not be able to win those 3v3s that she was able to win before. It's likely that she will still be played, but not prioritized over junglers like Lee Sin. Increases in ban rates this week have Maokai up nearly 36% from last week. What is life? Nidalee, Morgana, Talon, and Tristana trail behind. Interestingly, the Slinky Huntress has been relatively untouched for a while, and yet she's showing up more on the bans list. Oh goody, and I was worried she wouldn't come back. For a while, it seemed like Balls from C9 was able to make Nidalee look good in the pro scene, and it looks like that may be catching on in solo queue. Nidalee has great utility and an incredible laning phase from level 1. She excels against melee champions where she can heavily harass them with auto attacks. With a point in each ability, her kill potential skyrockets. She can mark, chase, and burst down nearly any enemy. And this girl has more than just offensive abilities. Primal Surge gives Nidalee healing from all the damage she receives in trades. She's also highly mobile with Cougar. She can pounce every 5 seconds, and her move speed increases when she's in the brush or is headed towards an enemy within range. Nidalee will continue to dominate her lane and split push her way into your base at the current state of the meta. Stupid Nidalee and the spears. Finally, the decreases in ban rates this week include Lucian, Gragas, Lulu, Jax, and Lee Sin. Lucian was one of the most contested carries, even in spite of the changes to his kit. that 4% increased win rate though. However, his presence on the decreased bans list shows that all is not right with the Purifier. Because Relentless Pursuit no longer removes slows, his mobility and safety as a carry has been rendered extinct. Previously, Lucian was able to move both attack speed and movement speed slows, like Exhaust or Randuin's Omen. Add on some nerfed auto attack range for good measure, and we simply won't be seeing Lucian sieging those towers like he used to. Don't get me wrong though, he's still a very viable carry, has a strong laning phase, and a great wave clear. If he manages to get ahead, he will still be very strong. Just be sure to run some cooldown reduction items like Ghost Blade when you play him, since there will certainly be situations where Lucian is a viable pickup. And that's all for this week's show. Please be sure to check back every week for the latest League of Legends, picks, bans, and win rates. Please be sure to like and comment below, especially if you like this video. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LolKing.net, for more great content. I'm Lindsay Geektron. You can follow me on Twitch at Lindsay Geektron. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.